basically, you and I, we both know writing a character is literally like, it can be excruciating, but you like know what you want, but you can't write it down. Like, how are you gonna get it from your head onto the paper? Right. I'm going to teach you how to build your character and like how to get that from your mind to your paper. It's going to be so much fun, and let's just get into it. Just for like preference, I was like, let me get an example character and let me just like use this character and help you guys out. Like, you know, we know this character and it'll be easier to explain, you know? So today we're going to use Anakin Skywalker. We love him, we know him. I'm using Anakin Skywalker circa Revenge of the Sith. What's on our agenda? Okay, what are we going to do? We're doing basics, we're doing personality, psychology, appearance, relationships, character development, fun little mood board, and fun character analysis. If you have been checking out my Instagram, which you totally should if you haven't, my Instagram is poppin'. I do some fun character stuff on there. Just a little like, you know, hey, is this your MBTI? These are characters with the same MBTI kind of thing, you know, and music that goes along with it. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. So check me out on there, but let's go ahead and go into the basics. With basics, we need the main things, just the basic things that maybe you're able to put on paper that are so easy. This is literally going to be like dipping our toes in the shallow end, okay? So we got our basics, and they're all so much fun. We got name, age, gender, sexual orientation, race, occupation, education, place of birth, and birthday. With Anakin, we get answers for that. Okay, his name is Anakin Skywalker. At the time of Revenge of the Sith, he's 22. He is a male. His sexual orientation, from what I've read so far, is straight, but subject to change if any of the writers in Lucasfilm change that. His race is human. That's another thing we're going to have to talk about, like with fantasy. This is mainly for fantasy, but with fantasy and science fiction, you have the other added thing of like race. So you could have an alien species. With Anakin, he's a human, and his occupation, he's a Jedi. And Jedi is where we're going to get, like, his occupation is kind of what dives into his character arc and some of the choices that he makes. So we have like that little thing where like, oh, we can take that. With education, Jedi Academy, and I put presumably self-taught because honestly, Qui-Gon found him when he was like 9 on Tatooine, and my guess is he did a lot of self-taught stuff, like working at Watto's, and of course his mom probably teaching him basics of like maybe reading or something like that. You're always gonna get that whenever you meet a kid in the mid to older elementary, so they're going to be self-taught. So place of birth, it's unknown. From what I remember reading a while ago is that Anakin came to Tatooine when he was like 3, I think. But I think that was before the whole Disney bought out situation, so I don't know if that changed. Again, all of my sources, that's the one thing with Star Wars, is like, you know something and then like it's like, is it pre-Disney? It's a pre-Disney bot, because if it is, it could be subject to change. But he was raised on Tatooine, so we have that. And his birthday, he was born in the year 41 BBY, before Battle of Yavin. So these are all basic things that we can figure out about our character that are so easy, well, presumably easy, but things that we can literally just, this will help us get into like who they're gonna be and what their goal is, maybe what relationships they have, stuff like that. So let's get into personality. Personality is really fun. We figure out who they are, we figure out how they speak to one another, like other characters. We just figure out what makes them tick. Kind of, you know, a little bit of psychology, just a little, because we're going to go into psychology later. So we get mannerisms, we get hobbies, we get special skills or abilities, we get vices, greatest achievement, greatest regret, speech patterns, assertive or passive, and direct or oblique. Okay, so for Anakin, his personality, his mannerisms, he's very emotionally driven, and that goes a lot with his character arc. We see that, how that affects him in his decisions. For hobbies, he's really good at piloting. His special skills or abilities, he has force powers, whatever that entails, and he's very powerful with those force powers. Piloting and engineering. Vices, he's very quick to anger. Greatest achievement, becoming the chosen one, which really isn't an achievement, I realize after I put this down, but Shakespeare, right? Some people are born great, some people achieve greatness, some people have greatness thrust upon them. His greatest regret was leaving his mother. Now, this is a choice that he actually made. His speech patterns, he's soft with some, with those that he's comfortable with, like Padme, and sometimes Obi-Wan. He is firm with others, so in the Jedi Order, his fellow Jedi, the plural is Jedi, his fellow Jedi. And then assertive or passive, he is way more assertive. I don't know what to tell you about that, but direct or oblique, he's more direct. I forgot to do a setup page for this, so it's going to go straight into the example, but personality / psychology. So we're getting into the psychology side. Spoiler alert, I did not major in psychology. I did a lot of reading in psychology. Of course, I think when you're a writer, you do a lot of writing in psychology. You have to know the psychology of characters. So this is all very learned information. I will put some websites in the description bar below that will help you out. They were great help to me. So yeah, let's get into it. MBTI, a really great thing to learn for your characters, what their MBTI is. Anakin, he is an ESFP, which means he's extroverted, sensing, feeling, and perceiving. This goes into how he treats others, or how he is around others. What's really great is you can look at like descriptors. You can look at descriptions underneath each MBTI, and it'll give you like keywords. I would highly, 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 highly recommend using those keywords when you're talking about your character, or you're referring to how they speak to others, or describing them, whatever it may be. Use that. Their temperament. His is definitely choleric melancholic, which means he's driven, direct, and forceful. That is very much more of an inward, internal kind of personality type thing. From what I've read, please, I'm psychologist, please don't come after me. Definitely leave a comment and say, hey, it's more like this, but that's what I've read. So temperament's also really good, so you use those descriptors in your writing. Love language. Oh my gosh, this is so important. Okay, so Anakin's is definitely physical touch. We see this with Padme, we see this with his mother. His Enneagram, 6-wing-7. The 6-wing-7 is also called the confidant. He's hardworking, concerned about security and stability, which is definitely Anakin. Okay, so appearance. You gotta describe your character. The appearance of a character, it really goes into like, there's height and weight, which you can do. I never know, like I know height, but weight, I would just definitely do more build. Kind of gives you a better idea. And I don't know, weight is kind of weird to me because you can be like, oh yeah, they're this kind of weight, but how does that actually look like? So body build is much easier in my mind to think about. I don't know about yours. Eye color, hair color and style, skin color, build, distinguishing features, accessories, and clothing style. These will all be super important to your character because how they look can sometimes go into where they come from. So with Anakin, we know he's 6'2". I had to look on Wikipedia, and that was great. Thank you, Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Thank you. Eye color, blue. Hair color and style, he's dirty blonde, but very tousled. Skin color, he's fair. His build is more athletic. I didn't know what his weight would be, so I just put athletic. He works out a lot. He's a Jedi. Distinguishing features, he has a scar on his left brow, and he has a cybernetic arm. These are very important. Where did he get a scar from? How did he get a cybernetic arm? That can go into your character with things like that. His accessory, his main one is his lightsaber. Clothing style, Jedi robes. Do we see him in anything else? No, not really. His relationships. Also did not do an example, or did not do a layout page for this. I did the example page instead. So his relationships are super important to your character. Builds on who they are, maybe who they trust, who they don't trust. We get his mother, Shmi. The importance of her character to him is critical to his downfall into the dark side. And his friend / master, Obi-Wan Kenobi, also very important. Then we get his wife, Padme Amidala, she's also very important to his downfall. Of course, his mentor, Chancellor Palpatine, who is a 2 thumbs down. Anyways, so character development is a really fun one, and this is where we get the crux of the story. What's really great is you need to know your archetype for your character. Your archetype can also tell you like how your character can, like what they will do whenever they become good, like what kind of outcome that will look like, and what kind of outcome it will look like when they become like bad. Like how will that affect their character inward and outward. I'll link a website down below about reading more about archetypes and stuff. Super fascinating and very important to know, and I might be working on something about archetypes soon in the future. And then external motivation, internal motivation. This is basically your story. The external motivation is how they work, like what their story is with others that they want to work with, and their internal story or internal motivation is going to be what they secretly want in their heart, okay? Do they have a secret, biggest fear, and what's preventing them from getting what they want? That question is going to help your character have the story that they need. So basically, it's going to give them the speed bumps in their path. For Anakin, his archetype is the warrior, which we see he goes towards the downfall of the warrior, and that becomes like more of a villain in the story. His external motivation, bring peace to the galaxy and end the Clone War. And then his internal motivation is keeping Padme safe. Do they have a secret? Yes, he is married to Padme, and his biggest fear is losing those he loves, which he's already lost his mom. What's preventing them from getting what they want? The Jedi Order, the very people who he works for, which is a great, like, speed bump. It's literally something that you are a part of, and it's preventing you from getting what your heart wants. That's a hell of a story right there. Now, I'm such a visual person, and mood boards are so important because it gives me the feel of the character, how I want to describe them. With this, I kind of found pictures of Anakin in the Revenge of the Sith book, and then I really love that picture, Starboy, with him in a lightsaber. I thought that was great. And then I found this Spotify playlist, Anakin Skywalker, and I was like, great, save that. So I put that in my mood board as well. So you really get kind of a taste of, like, he's more pulling towards the darker colors in his character. He also has some music that goes along with it, but there are some menacing reds in there, like stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. Love mood boards. Please go crazy with your mood boards. It also gets you really inspired to write from first-hand experience. Okay, so fun character analysis. This is one of my favorites. If you have followed me on Instagram, this is what I do. I love doing this in my character breakdowns. I don't know what else to tell you guys, so I'm just gonna explain it. In my fun character analysis, I do a color palette, so this will help me if I want my character to have certain colors that they wear, like, all the time. Maybe they're more of the purple character, maybe they're more the blue character, you know, all that stuff. So they have like I like to use a color throughout all of their outfits or something they keep on them, so it's like a thread that weaves all of their scenes together. You can also do something fun where it like starts out as a darker version of the color and then it gravitates to a lighter color, hue of color to that, you know, same color. Kind of establish them pulling away from the darkness to go to the light, something fun like that. What would their Hogwarts house be? What would their Camp Half-Blood cabin be? And a new one that I've loved is what Prithian court they would be a part of. I have become recently obsessed with the ACOTAR books. I'm working on something fun with that, so stay tuned for that. So for Anakin, okay, so for his color palette, put like black, a dark brown, a blue, and a gray. I should have added a red in there also, but I just added 4 because in my Instagram stories or Instagram posts I do 4 colors. Then for Hogwarts house, I put him in Slytherin because that's the kind of personality I feel like he shows off. Is he's very cunning, ambitious, resourceful, and clever. It's really a more self-centered to like get what he wants type thing, but he will strive to whatever to do it kind of thing. You know what I mean? And what Camp Half-Blood cabin? I put him in Hades because this was just a vibe thing. I was like, he would be a child of Hades, because him and Padme give Hades and Persephone vibes. And then I actually saw someone, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this? People were like, oh, he feels kind of like an Eros character, and Padme is more Psyche. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. I love Greek mythology and Roman mythology. That was my obsession in middle school and in high school. I knew so much. I would check out that Edith Hamilton book all the time from the library. Are you kidding me? I love that book. I read that book like so many times. I actually have to buy that book. I don't own it for some reason. But anyway, so the next one is Prithian court. So I had a whole theory about this. So I think that he would be part of the Night Court, but he would start out as an Illyrian. He would be such a good Illyrian warrior, like literally like have the wings and everything. And he would just be so menacing. His descent into evil would still be there, but he would end up in the court of nightmares. And I was like, that would be so juicy. So yeah, that's the whole fun character analysis that I thought of, and that is the end of the video. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like it, and please subscribe to me. No other reason. You know what? Comment if you think that Anakin would be a child of Hades or a child of Eros. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. I have a Patreon. If you would love to support, that would be great. I'm going to be putting up a lot of fun stuff on Patreon soon. If you want to write your character, I have a free worksheet, and I'll put the link down below. It's on my website. If you're just watching this, thank you so much. That is amazing. Please stay tuned for more videos I'm working on. I hope you guys have a great day. That's it. Bye.